in this Unearthed Arcana, not only do we delve into classes, but we delve into subclasses as well. What is the first subclass we should talk about in class? Like, should we go for the Bard?
Let's go for the Bard.
Okay, tell me about the Bard.
So in this article, you're going to see a revised version of the entire Bard class. So going from first level all the way to 20th level, and also a new version of the College of Lore subclass. More Bard subclasses will appear in a future Unearthed Arcana, but here we wanted to get people's impressions of the base class itself, which does require at least one subclass being present, because set several levels, of course, you get subclass features from your class. And so the College of Lore is the subclass first out of the gate for the Bard. And what people are going to see in this new take on the Bard are many of the things that people already love in the class. Bartic Inspiration, the spell casting, magical secrets. Those elements are all still here. But there are also some exciting new things. One of those things is now Bard subclasses, like everyone else's subclasses, give you 4 features instead of 3.
Right.
So that's not only a change to the class, but then of course that's necessitating a change in the new versions of the subclasses. So the new version of the College of Lore here has 4 features instead of 3. Now, anyone might be curious, well, what does that mean for subclasses for the Bard that are already in print? You can still use them, and this UA explains how. But here we're going to focus on these new versions where, again, subclass for the Bard now gives you 4 features. And there are some new options in features like Bartic Inspiration that I think are really cool. One is, for the first time ever, we have as a low-level feature in a class the ability to heal somebody reactively.
Okay.
So something we're exploring in Bartic Inspiration is giving bards their own way to heal. You're still going to be able to acquire healing spells if you want to as a bard. That has been an option for bards over the last 8 or so years. Still there. But we also wanted bards to have a way to restore people's hit points that's all their own. Also, we wanted to give an option in the baseline Bartic Inspiration feature that was more certain to deliver the goods. And here's what I mean by that. In the 2014 version of Bartic Inspiration, especially before you get any tweaks to Bartic Inspiration from a subclass, it's really easy to have somebody roll that die and have nothing happen.
Right.
Where they rolled it, they still failed, and you move on and hope next time you get a better result.
Yeah.
We wanted there to be an option for bards that when they use Bartic Inspiration, they know what it's going to do. And what this reactive healing is if the bard witnesses somebody within a certain range taking damage, the bard, as a reaction, can use their bardic arts to instantly restore some hit points by rolling the Bartic Inspiration die and giving the person back some HP. But there's more. Even that baseline feature that people are accustomed to of rolling the die and someone being able to add it to, say, an ability check to hopefully turn a lousy roll into a better one, that's also become a reaction. So now, rather than handing the die out and then waiting for a person to maybe remember to use the die or not, now instead, the bard gets to feel like they have more agency in how they use their own class feature. And so if the bard witnesses somebody fail an ability check within a certain range, as a reaction, they can use their Bartic Inspiration, have the die rolled, and potentially turn that failure into a success. Now, as you go up in level in this current playtest version of the Bard, you're also going to have other new tricks for keeping and getting your Bardic Inspiration back. One example of this is at 7th level in the playtest, the Bard gets the option now that if your Bardic Inspiration die rolls a 1, the use of your Bardic Inspiration is not expended.
Oh, nice.
So if you roll and, oh, darn it,
Yeah.
we just got a 1, well, the person still gets to add that 1 or get that 1 hit point back, but then you still get your Bardic Inspiration to use again. So there are a number of little things like that with potentially big impact that I think people are going to have a lot of fun trying out in this new take on the Bard.
Perfect. Is there anything dramatic that has changed for the College of Lore?
The College of Lore has a lot that is dramatic going on, which is appropriate for the Bard. So much of the Bard is about being dramatic.
Right.
But before I talk about it, there is an elephant in the room for the class overall that we should touch on first.
Okay, let's go ahead.
And that is, Bards now prepare their spells. This is huge.
Okay.
Because in the past, Bards had a fairly limited number of spells that they would know, and then at certain levels they could change those out. Now, if a Bard player wants to, they have the option of changing the spells they have prepared at the end of every long rest. This has been a very important thing for us to explore in the playtest because all of our spellcasting classes have a lot of often very flavorful non-combat spells available to them. But what ends up happening, we have found, with spells known classes versus spells prepared classes is the spells known classes, the players tend to gravitate toward combat spells, understandably, so that they have the tool they need when their characters' lives are in danger. Mm-hmm. But then that means they often don't feel like they can take some of these really tasty, non-combat oriented spell options. And we want our players to feel at liberty to use those options. And the best way for us to deliver that is allowing our spellcasters to prepare their spells. And so this is something people are going to see not only in the Bard, but also in the Ranger. But we can talk more about that when we get to the Ranger, of really making it so that you can explore the full range of the magical possibilities for your character if you're playing a spellcaster. Now, the College of Lore.
Okay, let's get into that.
So the College of Lore's cutting words, similar to the baseline Bardic Inspiration, is this reaction now, but instead of to an ally failing in the case of baseline Bardic Inspiration, or an ally taking damage, it's a response to presumably an enemy succeeding. And so then you reactively use it to try to turn their success into a failure. Then, at higher level, this version of the College of Lore can also deal psychic damage to the person that they are rolling their cutting words die against.
Right. And
again, this is all about making sure that the Bardic Inspiration die really feels like it's delivering the goods. The College of Lore also has a brand new feature called Cunning Inspiration, where they're going to get to roll their Bardic Inspiration die twice whenever they use it and use the better result. So that is going to be extremely useful, particularly given the expansion of possibilities for what your Bardic Inspiration can do.
Perfect. Is there anything else dramatic I should know about the College of Lore?
So every feature in the College of Lore has been improved. I think the only one that is largely what you would expect was the bonus proficiencies one. That's still there. But even their peerless skill is better than it was before. So it's basically a fresh coat of paint, new tools, new ways to mess with your enemies, and also new ways to potentially help your friends with the Cunning Inspiration feature.